Life Changing Advice, episode 34 is tell your story. Write your story down and tell your story. And so I believe in writing it down first because we are all complicated, multifaceted. We have these different parts of our story that would be beneficial at sometimes, but might be too much or oversharing other times. But when we write our story down, we start to see things that maybe we didn't even realize. We see themes and patterns in our lives. But there is parts of our story that can help a lot of people. And I could just look back at different authors that I've read their books. Marshawn Evans Daniels is one of them. But there are numerous authors where if they hadn't shared their story, I would have thought I was the only one because we didn't talk about those things in our house. We didn't share those things in my family or whatever the case may be. But when people share their story, you realize that you're not alone. You realize that somebody else has experienced it. And then when they tell their story in a book, for example, you can see how they made it out to the other side. You can see how they overcame it. But when we don't tell our story, whether it's orally or in a book, we can't help people that need us to get free. They need us to help them by sharing our story, sharing our lessons, sharing what happened, how we made it, And so, I can see how it can be intimidating to share our story because we think that no one wants to hear what we've been through. But we don't realize that we are all the same in so many ways. Women, we have experienced all these different things that are our same. We might be different races or all these different things. We might be different, but we share very similar stories. We can sit down and talk in a group of 5 or 6, and we all have experienced the same thing. However you want to say, it could be illness, it could be childbirth, it could be marriage, it could be living as a woman, the responsibilities that women have. It could be anything that you can think of. You can sit down with somebody, and if you talk to them long enough, there is some commonalities. There's things in our story that we all have experienced. And so it's so valuable to share our story. And I think it's important to write it down because, like I said, there will be certain things that you will share with certain people, and there's certain things that you will not share with certain people because it's not for them. They don't benefit from it, And so writing your story down lets you see for yourself what you've experienced, what you've overcome, what you've accomplished, the challenges that you faced, and you made it when you didn't think you were going to make it. Just all the different things that have happened in your life. When you write your story down, it helps you. It helps your family. When you share your story, people think that they're the only ones on a regular basis. People think they're suffering alone in silence because they think they're the only ones because we hide in shame, right? We don't say anything. We don't tell people, I've experienced this. I know what you're going through. I've experienced this. You are not alone. You're not singled out. You're not alone. And so when we don't share it, we see people on the outside and they look perfect, but we don't realize that on the inside they have endured some major challenges. Whatever that looks like, we all hurt. The pain is universal. We all experience different types of pain. We all experience trauma. No matter what it is, if you talk to somebody, you have experienced some of the same things. Your story is very similar, and people are trying to figure out, how do I move on? How do I get past this? How do I deal with this? Why did this happen to me? And I hear this quote and I believe it's so true. A lot of things don't happen to us, they happen for us, and they happen for us to share our story with somebody else. They happen to us so that we can grow stronger in different areas, but we can help other people to grow stronger in certain areas. We can help people to get over things faster, easier, better because we've experienced it. We can show them, we can tell them what happened to us, how we, made it through. Share your story. I know it can be embarrassing sometimes, but sometimes it's the vulnerability. And I'm not saying that you are online sharing things. I think that, we have to wait on the prompting of the Holy Spirit. I think that there are certain things that you have to be praying to God about when to share, how to share. This is, you got to learn, right? This is something that, you just praying to God for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding so that you can say the right things at the right time to the right people in the right way. So just something to be thinking about is writing your story down first. Things that have happened to you, pivotal moments. And I always say, most of us have had 20 pivotal moments in our lives where we can see how things change. We can see how those things maybe still rock us to our core. Maybe these things still affect us. Maybe these things we talk about because they affected us in a major way. So just think about that for yourself when you're writing your story. What are 10 things, 20 things, pivotal things that have happened in your life that changed you, that rocked you, that challenged you, things that you've overcome, things that you're dealing with now that at some point you will be able to share because you've made it through. So share your story today, write it down first, and pray to God about how you can share, when you can share, the right people to share. Tell your story today. It'll help somebody else and it will help you too.